All right, welcome in. I am D Kodiak. Today we're here to talk about Kenny Pickett, the quarterback out of Pitt, who has come onto the scene. To be honest, he's kind of had a Burrow-esque rise. Probably not going to get the first overall capital that Burrow got, but outside of maybe Aiden Hutchinson, I can't think of any player in this class who has had a bigger rise than Kenny Pickett this year. So let's just start out with him before he got to Pitt, like we always do. We need to realize what these players were like in high school, what made them get recruited to these colleges. And on one of his sports recruiting websites, he just says, "Oh yeah, my name is Kenny Pickett, graduating class 2017, Ocean Township, New Jersey. Football is a major part of my life, blah, 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 leader, blah, 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 majoring in business, whatever, all that good stuff." And one of the things that stood out to me while I was doing my research was that Kenny Pickett had a 93 GPA, which is probably the highest we have ever seen from a college recruit. Okay, looking at the box score just on a pure production basis from what we have seen from Kenny Pickett throughout his college career at Pitt, nothing really stands out until this past season. He just blows every stat he previously had a personal best in. He just blows all those stats completely out of the water. Completions, attempts, percentage, yards passed for, yards per attempt, air yards per attempt, touchdowns, interceptions. And for a guy who has some wheels, I'm not going to say he's Lamar Jackson. He's not Malik Willis or anything like that. But he has shown throughout his college career that he can take off and run. I cannot believe this guy averaged 1.9 yards per carry in college. I thought this was a joke at first, and I had to double check it in three places. I double checked it on the Football Reference, PFF, and Sports Info Solutions, and yeah, this guy actually was that inefficient in the run game. Now, something schematically must have gone very, very wrong for him to average 1.9 yards per carry throughout his college career, or they may have just done a ton of sneaks. I don't know. I didn't see that many. Something I thought was interesting just from looking at forums of what Pittsburgh fans had to say was Mark Whipple, their head coach, pretty much stayed just to keep Pickett from leaving. Now Whipple went to Nebraska. He's going to coach there with Scott Frost. So one thing that stands out to me when watching him is his improvisation. He doesn't take unnecessary hits. He's usually able to improvise. He's usually able to escape a pocket that's collapsing just to keep any given play alive. And he reminds me a lot of Mahomes when the play breaks down, although too often he would just do the Bridgewater special. And he would just run for a 1 yard gain out of bounds or throw it to a receiver that was blanketed, and what good does that do you on 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9 when you're trying to move the ball down the field? His on-target throw percentage was 12th out of 110 qualified college quarterbacks, so that is pretty good. Shows you that he is accurate as a passer, and he was PFF's highest graded passer with a clean pocket and the 6th highest graded passer in college football, throwing it 10 to 19 yards downfield to the middle. Now, this is just a rumor, but it has been reported that Kenny Pickett might have the smallest hands from a college quarterback prospect of all time. Burrow, I believe, has the smallest hands in the NFL right now at 9 inches, and Kenny Pickett's hands are rumored to be 3/4 of an inch shorter than Burrow's. And obviously, we've been able to see enough from Burrow that his hand size does not deter him from anything. He's still able to get the ball to Chase. He's still able to get the ball to Higgins, able to get the ball anywhere on the field he needs to. And when I watched Pickett, there was nothing that I saw that would make me not want to draft him based on his hands. This just shows how in-depth teams will go with their scouting process. They say his thumb is double jointed, and teams say it might help him grip the ball better. And while we're talking about Kenny Pickett, I just want to say this about the fake slide he had against Wake Forest in the ACC championship. They pretty much had to ban it. I mean, that was the first time I remember anyone pulling out the fake slide. But defenders are taught to not rock the quarterback, especially in this day and age, and it just gives the runner a stupid advantage, because the defense is taught that if they pop the quarterback, they're just going to get a penalty called on them. And if you are a quarterback and you're in the middle of getting popped, you're just going to go down and the other team's going to get flagged. Like, it doesn't make sense, so obviously they had to ban it for that reason. One comparison a lot of individuals have regarding Kenny Pickett is that they say he plays like Derek Carr or a more athletic Matt Ryan, which makes sense in my book. If you think Derek Carr is his ceiling, which I have heard from ESPN, I am not happy with a Carr in the modern NFL. Like, yes, Carr is above average, and he does make the most of what he has to work with. And no, it's not really worth getting rid of him, especially because you're unlikely to get anyone better, just considering the nature of quarterbacks and how much of a lottery it is in the NFL. But let's be completely honest, he's not going to light the league on fire, and I see a lot of similarities between him and Pickett. My biggest concerns about Pickett are he did not break out until he was 21, and to be completely honest, I'm not even sure you could call his 21-year-old season a breakout. and he did not put draftable film out there until he was 23 years old. I know it was more of the same with Joe Burrow, and Joe Burrow had a late breakout as well, but I feel like Joe Burrow had the best college football season of all time 2 years ago, so that completely pretty much negates any concerns we may have had about him coming into the NFL. But with every quarterback, you are going to have concerns. And just watching Pickett, I do believe there's going to be a bit of a cap on his ability and his potential in the NFL. He is a smart quarterback, but he reminds me of one of the quarterbacks that you would draft in the old days of the NFL. Before we had guys like Mahomes, before we had guys like Lamar, before we had these quarterbacks with insane physical ability and rocket arms. So an NFL insider, Tony Pauline, said the overall belief in the league is that he will be the first quarterback drafted. And we have a lot of guys who can make a case for that this year. We have Matt Corral, we have Malik Willis, we have Desmond Ridder, we have Sam Howell. Obviously, not all those guys are going to be first-round picks, considering the fact that this is generally regarded as a weak quarterback class, yet very, very strong elsewhere. Although Pauline said he'll probably be a first-round pick, but he's really a third-round prospect, and he'll be a first-round pick and the first quarterback drafted only because of the need at that position. I keep seeing him rumored to Carolina. I keep seeing him rumored to the Steelers because Pitt to Pitt just makes way too much sense. Roethlisberger's moving on at the end of the year. He's going to be retiring, and they're going to be looking for their new guy. But it's the NFL, and I think if a team does happen to fall in love with Pickett, I don't know if they will have to trade up for him because there are not that many teams compared to years past that need a quarterback. And for the teams that do need a quarterback, I don't think this is the year to get it. I think if you are a quarterback needy team, you're better holding out until 2023. But Pickett, I could see him being an above average quarterback. And given the nature of quarterbacks in the NFL, where, like I said, it's just a complete dice roll, I would not be too terribly upset if he was just above average and I used a first round pick on him. Alright guys, that is going to do it for the video. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're not already, follow me on Twitter, link is in the description down below. Anyways guys, have a good day and peace out.